credit the Saints. Hard to win when you turn the ball over 5 times, and it was 5 consecutive drives. Missed a couple opportunities offensively on a flea flicker and a post, which I thought could have changed it after the start of the game. Defensively, we did a good job in the run game. Gave up that big play to 22, which was a huge play for us. So can't have those things. Too many DPI penalties. Again, 5 turnovers to 0. You're not going to win. You're not going to win this league.
Was the flea flicker a little underthrown or not thrown quickly enough? Or could Slay have had that? It was hard to tell if he was.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I thought we got by him there. Take a look at how it looks, but thought we had a chance.
4th and 1 on the next play. Why not go for it if you're going to be that aggressive on 3rd down?
Yeah, again, that was the decision that we made, not to go for it there. We went on a number of 4th downs, and we were going to try to pin them down there on that one.
You didn't go for 2, I believe, in the first half. You were on their side of it. Then you went for the 1 early in the second half. What's your thought process behind that?
Yeah, again, I have guys that I lean on, 4th down wise, that we communicate and talk about. And, every decision I make, I think that's the best decision after talking to the guys that I lean on, and then ultimately it's my decision.
What did you think of Jackson?
I thought he battled. The game got away from him a little bit, again, with those turnovers. Again, some easy ones, too, when we just dropped. And, those kill you because they give those points, I think, 13 points off, and then they take away points when we're driving, and they're all, most of them were on the plus 50 or down there inside the scoring zone to at least get a field goal out of it. But, again, we move the ball well sometimes, but it's just hard when you're giving the ball away.
Can I follow up on Jackson for a second? A lot of his success was in the first half based on him using his legs. What did they do? What did you see differently in the second half that kind of prevented that?
Not much. I thought we moved the ball, and then we turned it over. So, the drives that we stalled on, we turned the ball over.
The big turnaround.
5 in a row, which is, it's hard to do.
With Cam, he's hard to bring down, and the ball just gets knocked away.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at all of them. He got knocked out of his hands. Slay got knocked hands. Jackson dropped the 1. Those were 3 big drives coming out or going in to go ahead and generate some points or not give them up at the end of a half. Again, turn the ball over like that, give them opportunities for points, take away opportunities for you scoring points when you're moving the ball.
I think you had a sack today. Why when you get the pass rush going?
Well, that's a number of things. I thought they got the ball out quick. They did a good job with it. Thought we missed a couple that we had in our grasp, but again, that big play on defense got us some 3rd downs. They were 3rd and shorter. Most of those, 1 3rd and long on the crosser to Olave, but we didn't create any turnovers. And again, it's a broken record, but 5-0, I don't know. I don't know how many teams have ever won when it's 5-0 on a turnover ratio.
You did have the one takeaway that got negated with Banks with the PI. I think we've probably asked you about this a couple times. But why keep up that rotation? What are you seeing from him? It seems like Flott is playing better, just point blank.
Yeah, Tay had that penalty. Tay's done some good things. Trust both those guys, but obviously that one hurt us. Again, some missed opportunities. That one, a couple plays we had downfield that I thought we had a chance to make, and then the turnovers. So, not good enough.
He's been flagged 4 or 5 times already, and it's in limited playing time, right? He's not playing full time. What do you say to that? What do you say to him? Why do you think that keeps happening?
Yeah, keep working on our technique. I know Marquand is out there with those guys every day working on technique and getting their head around when they need to get their head around and not being as handsy. We'll continue to do that.
What was the thought process with obviously going more 2 tight end, 2 receivers today?
Well, it was, I thought it was an advantage for us relative to how they played it in their base defense. And then they end up going nickel defense. But, Belly and Theo had confidence in those 2 guys. But it simplified them a little bit as well. So I thought it was, we operated it well early on. And then, again, it's hard to operate when you're turning the ball over.
It's obviously good. This is a whole series of firsts for Jackson still. What do you say to him after his first loss, his first tough game?
Again, that's the NFL. There's every play matters, and he knows that. He's as hard on himself as anybody. There's a lot to learn from it, and that's what we'll do. There'll be ups, there'll be downs. I thought he started out really well. And then collectively, we got to do a better job. You know, we got to make the play down the field when we have an opportunity to make a play. We got to hold on to the ball when we're scrambling. Those are things that we'll build off with him. But he competed, you know, was prepared, ready to go. And then again, I know it's a broken record, but it's hard to win with 5 turnovers.
From a roster management angle, you had the 2 open roster spots. You didn't bring up Humphrey, and then you ended the game there. You got 3 receivers basically left just to run. Why not bring up another receiver there?
Yeah, felt good about where we were at relative to, you know, our plan going into the game and what we were going to try to do with the multiple tight ends. So we'll see what happens next week.
But you had to know there's a chance you get in a situation where you could lose a guy, and like what happened, like that's obviously a possibility. So you didn't think that was necessarily
There's a
guard
possibility you can lose 2 running backs and have no running backs. It's the NFL. There's injuries are going to happen. We had 5 receivers. We had 4 tight ends in case something happened to one of the tight ends to be able to continue in what we were going to use throughout the game. So we'll see how it goes.
Despite all those turnovers, do you think you guys can continue to build off of what Dart's doing well, some of those drives you guys had?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you know, it's his first loss as a starting quarterback. I know there's plays that he wishes he had back. We got to do a good job around him, but I have a lot of confidence in the young man.
Take 2 more.
Without Malik, you knew that people had to step up. What do you think of the way your wide receivers played?
Again, none of us did a good enough job.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Dart,
Trying to make a play. I don't know if he punched it out. I don't really know how I lost the ball, but you know, obviously right there, I got to be better. I got to do a better job of securing the ball while I'm running with it, and yeah. Pretty frustrated, mostly with myself, honestly. You know, I left a play or 2 out there, but, you know, definitely probably would have helped us put ourselves in a better position to get more of a lead in the game and probably give us a chance to run away with it early, honestly.
The first deep one, that's the one you're talking about? I mean, what was that, just a ball you just don't catch? Or what?
Yeah, not so much that one. I mean, that one I kind of got held and I tried. Like, I still didn't make the play, but, like, you know, that was, you know, kind of football, make some, miss some. But more so the second one, you know, I just wish I would have tried to go back and get the ball in a different way. You know, maybe try to find a way to jump and go get the ball, but unfortunately, you know, in the moment I didn't.
Are you talking about the flea flicker you're talking about there?
Flea flicker, yeah.
It seemed like it was hanging up there for a little while there. You talk about, so maybe you were waiting for it too much and you instead of coming back to it?
Yeah, I wish I would have, you know, tried to go back to it in some way, shape, or form. You know, at the end of the day, like, quarterback can't be perfect. They put it near us. You know, it's our job to go up and fight for the ball. You know, I wish I would have, you know, probably went about that a little differently.
That play was wide open, though, right? I mean, I mean, you're running free there, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and yeah, but my mentality is, you know, like I said, quarterback can't always be perfect, and the reality is, like, as a receiver, if they give you a chance to go up and fight for the ball, you're supposed to go fight for it. So, you know, I got to find a way to try to go up and make that play.
How do you even explain 5 straight turnovers? Like, is there anything you can put your finger on? Like, you think it's spiraled or snowballed? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I had the first one. So, you know, from an accountability standpoint, you know, I feel like I kind of, you know, started that. But obviously, you know, from myself to, I don't even remember whoever else turned it over. But for everybody, we obviously all have to do a better job of holding on to the football.
Gary, on the first one, what's your greatest takeaway out of what happened out there today?
We ain't played well enough. I feel like in the day we beat ourselves. A lot of plays that we just can't have to win a football game, and then that's how it went. We lost.
You had a couple of long drives on you guys. What was going on there? Just.
I mean, that's gonna happen sometimes, but I think we finished them drives well. We held them to field goals. They missed some field goals. So. I mean, it's part of the game. You just got to defend the grass where you're at and keep going.
Dex, how much work did you have to do just to be ready to play this game?
A lot, man. A lot on the mental, for sure. But, you know, I wanted to be here for the guys and, you know, and play as much as I could. Coach Dre did a good job, you know, taking care of me out there and, you know, listening to me and you know, letting me do what I can do.
Why do you think you guys weren't able to just like dominate up front like you did last week today?
I think you gotta watch the tape.
On that there,
Yeah.
But you would know, right?
Yeah, I think
Like
you gotta watch. I think you gotta watch the tape. I don't think we did not dominate. You know, they got the ball off quick a lot. Most of the time, when they didn't, you know, that's when we got, you know, pressure. But I wouldn't say we didn't dominate up front.
A lot of the young guys that are in this locker room, for you as a veteran, you know what a short week is like. Is it more taxing physically or mentally to move on and get ready for a game?
Probably both, really. I feel like if you have your mental right, your physical will be all right most of the time. But you just gotta hydrate, you know, take care, do the things you do later in the week, earlier in the week, and you know, get ready to play.
Yeah, felt like we gave them the game. We were driving, felt like we were moving the ball whenever we wanted, and then just gave them the ball multiple times.
The wide receivers were not, including you, were not incredibly involved, you know, as far as making big plays. What did you see out there that either they were doing from you or that Jackson wasn't seeing or that just wasn't happening?
Well, me personally, once we were in our 12 personnel stuff, they were bringing the nickel in and keeping somebody over top with him. So it was pretty tough for me. But, yeah, I mean, it was just more so we just got to execute and go out there and make plays.
What did you see from Jackson? First half was better, second half not better.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's going to go back and watch the film and know what he can clean up. And but he's still growing, and he's a young quarterback in this league, and we still got all the confidence in the world now.
Do you think the team was above this kind of thing? I mean, you had a good win last week against a team that hadn't won a game. Yeah. Now you played a team that didn't, you know, hadn't won a game.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. You think you were?
This is the NFL. Everybody's good. You can't go into each week thinking, oh, we got this win, or they're 0-4 and they're this and that. Just like the Chargers, they were 3-0 and we were 0-3. So each and every Sunday, you got to come and bring your game.
I think we might have been asked about
No, you're good.
5 turnovers, what that does for your offense and just doing that in a game.
You're not going to win. You just can't win like that with 5 turnovers, and they have 0, obviously. So it's just not going to work like that.
The turnovers just kind of start snowballing like that.
Yeah, those suck. Obviously, you don't win many games when you have 5, and you don't get any on the other side of the ball. So I felt like we had a lot of opportunities where we were just moving the ball down the field, and then we would just hurt ourselves. So in the NFL, every team's a good team. Every team has talent, and I kind of felt like we just kind of just gave the game away by those turnovers.
What happened on the drop on yours?
It just fell out of my hand.
What's the teaching moment there? I mean,
Tucked the ball.
Has that ever happened to you before?
No.
Do you feel like you're progressing practice after practice, week after week, as you're seeing more game action despite today's outcome?
Yeah. I mean, anytime you get more reps, you're going to get better. So, I think that, obviously I'm young and that can't be an excuse. So I got to continue to get better. And quarterbacks are measured by, wins and losses. So, I take that to heart and felt like I was, kind of the one who should have been, putting our team in the better situation to, get a win in this game.
Can you take us through the flea flicker?
I mean, what part?
What you saw, obviously the throw probably, like the throw there, just kind of what you saw on that play and what happened on that play.
Yeah, just slight one-on-one. Wish I could have just put it a little farther out there. At the end of the day, I'm going to give my guys a chance to make a play. But yeah, just wish I just put it a little farther out there.
Did you wait maybe a tick too long to let it go, or you just underthrew a little bit? What was that?
Just underthrew a little bit.